And then by 26, he was a pastor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. That role set the stage for what came next in his path of being a voice of change.
Mm. And so this set the precedent for this next step. One that we will touch base on is the Montgomery bus boycott. And a little fun fact about the Montgomery bus boycott is that in December of 1955, Rosa Parks said, nay, nah, no, not doing it, not having it, to giving up her seat. And King gets tapped to lead the Montgomery bus boycott. He was new in town, only 26, but already making a noise. This boycott was led by MLK. He was chosen to lead, and it lasted for 381 days of a boycott. Not only did the community come together, they carpooled together, they walked together. We also stood some types of resilience and resistance towards this bus boycott.
And that boycott went on for 381 days. That is more than 1 year and some days. Folks walked, shared rides, stayed off buses in protests of segregation. His house got bombed. He got arrested, but he stayed committed to being a voice of change.
And eventually, the Supreme Court ruled that the bus segregation was unconstitutional. A huge win for pro-Black and Pan-African associates, and it put MLK on the national stage.
And then from there, he founded, or co-founded, I would rather say, the SCLC. I've actually walked by their office where they were originally founded, which is the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and became its first president.
The more you know. And this is where we take our next step to where the story actually expands. And so we think about, what MLK stands for. It's pro-Black, Pan-African lens, right? Well, something that also, combines and goes with this is global solidarity. MLK was the mascot for global solidarity. In 1957, he actually traveled to Ghana for its independence celebration. And that trip then opened his eyes to another lens that was even more linked between Black liberation in the U.S. and the decolonization movements across Africa.
He also met Kwame Nkrumah, somebody whose name we've mentioned in our previous historical figures series, and he saw the ripple effect of freedom movements. He also condemned apartheid in South Africa and supported anti-colonial efforts globally. And now, just to add on to that, is that he was a voice of change during his generation. And as you can see, we're talking about him because his voice still lives on nowadays. And some of the things that he did, I personally would say I completely support them and I fully agree with them to a certain extent. Therefore, him being a voice of change was not just for himself in that generation. It had an everlasting, forever impact to where we will always talk about it for generations.